Your Honor, please recall this morning's trial when Director Cosmos was on the stand. The bullet that hit the oxygen tank was extremely small, maybe a 10 caliber. And that's what kind of gun it was. This little compact gun probably takes bullets of that caliber. It looks like this gun is the gun that was fired at the scene. I'm flabbergasted. The lighter was a gun? So when Detective Fullbright would touch his holster, that's right, whenever he mentioned the Earth emblem, he must have subconsciously thought about the secret behind a lighter. In other words, he knew it was a gun from the very beginning. A lighter that transforms into a gun seems like a spy gadget to me. Have you all ever heard of a lighter that transforms into a gun? Because I've heard of a lighter that I think I've seen lighters, or at least cell phones that like have a taser, like a fake cell phone that turns into a taser, but lighter that turns into a gun, it's kind of a new outset on things. It's not the kind of thing any ordinary person can just get their hands on. In fact, I'd say it's strictly in the domain of elite spies. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds like something James Bond would carry. Well, maybe not James Bond, but a very high in the spy league kind of spy. Detective Fullbright, you will explain yourself. There's nothing for me to explain. I didn't know the lighter could transform. I mean, it was found in the Space Museum, and then I brought it straight in. I didn't even have time to check it out.
Objection!
Whenever you mention the Earth emblem, you touch your holster. You subconsciously did that because you knew it was a gun. Accuse me all you want, but where is your proof? Do you have any evidence that I knew the lighter was a gun? Not exactly. And whose prints are on it? Miss Sykes' prints. It proves that she was the culprit who fired the gun at the scene. It would appear that the detective is right. Are you guys really trying to prove your client innocent or what? Although it pains me to do this, now that we are where we are, I have to make the following assertions, coming from the prosecution's side. The person who fired the gun at Director Cosmos in the lounge after the incident, and the person Miss Blackwell saw holding the lighter, and the person who murdered Mr. Terran, and the person who bombed the Space Center, and, got a lot of ands in that frickin' sentence, don't you? Are all the defendant Athena Sykes. The prints on the lighter are decisive proof. No! No! Now do you see? A man on the side of justice couldn't possibly be the culprit. And I think this about sums up Miss Sykes' part in the whole affair. The evidence certainly does seem to point to the defendant's guilt. Do you have anything to say, Prosecutor Blackwell? Evidence is everything in court. Therefore, Fullbright's claims stand firm. But calm down, Apollo. He's just saying that because he has to as the prosecutor. Mr. Lawyer, our job is to pursue criminals in the name of justice. You shouldn't cast suspicion on people based on something as dubious as a little habit. In fact, you have a bad habit of showing up in court with an awful case of bedhead. Oh, damn!
Objection!
Says the man who wears sunglasses at night. If it's proof you want, it's proof you'll get. I'll prove that this lighter is not Miss Sykes's but yours. Sounds like you've hit on something, Apollo. It's just, if the prints on the lighter are the basis for accusing Athena, I think we should reconsider the credibility of the evidence itself. You mean, you think the lighter might be forged evidence? Well, after like, Fullbright decided to bring it in the last second as, like, incriminating evidence, I thought something was up with that lighter for the longest time. So yeah, I think it's in forged evidence. That's right. It could all be part of Fullbright's bigger plot. Did he do anything out of the ordinary while I was off on my own? I can definitely think of a few things. It is indeed. Have a look at this. What's this? A lighter? Detective, we'd like to run a comparison on some prints we found in the boarding lounge. Ah, yes. I just happened to have compiled the print data of everyone related to this case. I can always make another copy for myself, so it's all yours. Consider it a gift. Yeah. If we assume he's been laying a big trap for us all along, there's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with the lighter as a piece of evidence? How the prints were left on it? No, I guess I don't see anything strange about how the prints were left on the lighter. Nothing unusual about the angle of the prints, or how they are patchy in places, but there's gotta be something off about this piece of evidence. What's wrong with this lighter? Did I say how the prints were left on it? I meant to say where the prints are on it. Anything odd about where the prints are? No, I guess if it was fired as a gun, that's about where the prints would be, but... Okay, fine. The owner of the prints. Are they really Athena's fingerprints? They definitely matched her print data. But what about the data itself? Detective Fullbright, you were the one who provided us with the lighter and print data. Isn't that correct? Yes. What about it? You say Miss Sykes' prints match the print data, but I have to wonder, was the data you used official? Mr. Wright, are you suggesting that the evidence might have been fabricated? I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's re-examine the prints. Using the official, sanctioned print data of the people involved in this case. What? You dare insult the epitome of justice and integrity? There's no need for such antics!
Silence!
Your Honor, I lend my voice to defense's request. You must allow the test to be rerun. Very well, then. Bailiff! You! find out the prints. Ah, it appears that the official data is here. And the results? It's just as the defense claims. This proves that the prints of the lighter do not belong to the defendant. Yeah! Yes! The fingerprints actually belong to the victim, Mr. Clay Terran. I wonder if he grabbed the gun or something, and then managed to try to defend Cosmos. Makes me wonder. Weird. They were Clay's fingerprints on the lighter? Ah, I see. Come to think of it. Wasn't it you, Fullbright, who collected the victim's prints? I personally removed his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity after all. Ah, when you took the deceased's fingerprints, you could have easily planted his prints on the lighter with his blood. Okay, and that means that, yeah, that means that he could have done it in the middle of the crime scene and gotten away with it scot-free without anything going on. After which, you wiped the blood off his hand. Yeah! By your own admission, you were also the one who compiled the phony print data. All to put blame on Miss Sykes! Yeah! This ploy must have been to distract us from the Phantom who was behind everything. You were out to create the impression that the Phantom wasn't the true culprit. So does that mean Detective Fullbright really is the Phantom? Remember the killer's escape route? No ordinary person would have been fearless enough to attempt it. Nobody but the Phantom, the man with no emotions, could have done it. Detective Fullbright, you were the only one who could have used that escape route. Fullbright, are you really the Phantom? Answer me, or so help me, I will slash you to tiny slivers where you stand! Alright, I'll talk! I confess! I'm not the Phantom! God, he's really trying to push everyone's buttons.
Silence!
Yeah, silence. It's all over. Now be a man and admit it already! But I'm not a spy! I'm an undercover investigator! I've actually been after the Phantom myself! Oh my god, you're seriously frickin' pulling this? An undercover investigator? That sounds less than wholesome to me. A person who hides his identity and secretly investigates in order to uncover information. And that's what you really are, Fullbright. That's right. I was working to track down the Phantom, but sadly, even though I was supposed to catch the spy ended up catching me. He took my family hostage and forced me to cooperate with him. What?
Objection!
You're telling us this now? But if what you say is true, then who was this mystery person Miss Blackwell and Mr. Starbuck saw? It was the Phantom, I tell you! Oh, now you're changing your story. You're saying first it was Athena, and now you're saying it's definitely the Phantom. I'm still not... no. All I did was help him by having that emergency ladder lowered for him. Oh, okay.
Objection!
I don't believe you. Then how do you explain the fabricated lighter? That was also one of the Phantom's demands. Being the detective in charge of the case, it was easy for me to fabricate evidence. Pinning the crime on Athena Sykes was just another one of the Phantom's orders. And you expect me to buy that? Fullbright, what was the Phantom's ultimate objective? I was told it was to sabotage the rocket launch. Someone who didn't want the launch to happen must have given him the order. Actually, I have to apologize to you too. The Phantom told me to get close to you. He ordered me to get back that psych profile you have on him. So, he sent a buzzard of his own to tail me this past year, did he? I haven't been a champion of justice. I've just been a pawn of evil. A pawn of the Phantom who stole the moon, rock, and killed Dr. Sykes 7 years ago. Enough, Fullbright. Just tell us the Phantom's true identity. I don't know. He was very careful to hide it. He has top secret information for all kinds of corporations and countries. So there's a number of organizations that want him dead. If people believed I was the Phantom, I could be killed on the spot. Why, I bet even now! There are assassins lurking nearby. This case is about the Phantom after all. With the ceiling blown off, I suppose you are vulnerable to a sniper's shot in this courtroom. Just 2 seconds ago, Fullbright was treating Athena like a criminal. Does he really think he's going to lie his way out of it now? But on the surface, everything does seem to make sense. This could be bad, Mr. Wright. If we can't find a flaw in his logic... He's right. We've come this far. We've come all this way. We can't let Fullbright wriggle free now. There. I finally told the truth. Now, I hope you see how foolish it was to think I was the Phantom. You're an intelligent man, Prosecutor Blackwell. You believe me, right? Why do you look so serious all of a sudden? I believe you. I don't think you're the Phantom. What? How can you say that, Prosecutor Blackwell? It's obvious he's the Phantom!
Silence!
Evidence is everything, right, Dono? And you must admit there's no clear evidence that Fullbright is the Phantom. Yes. As I recall, the only solid proof we've seen up to this point is the fact that Detective Fullbright fabricated evidence. But I've known Fullbright here for a year now, and all this time he's been quite intent on rehabilitating me. I don't believe his efforts were a lie. Prosecutor Blackwell! This fool truly thought he could reform a death row inmate like me. He went so out of his way in his efforts for me. He actually became quite a nuisance, really. Prosecutor Blackwell, you believe me? Please tell me Prosecutor Blackwell hasn't really been taken in by this big phony. However, even if it was against your will, you still acted as the Phantom's accomplice. You will have to pay the price for that. Throw yourself at my mercy, and don't you ever betray me again! Have you got that? Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you! Such a bond of trust is a rare and beautiful thing. In any case, it looks like everything has been resolved. I can now hand down a not guilty verdict with confidence. Very good. I'm very glad to hear it. It's all over. Everything's been cleared up, and Miss Sykes will go free as well. Haha. Mr. Wright, we can't let the trial end here. If we do, the Phantom, the man who killed Clay, will get away. That rhymed. I know, but... what do I do? I don't have any proof that Detective Fullbright is the Phantom. Is this it? Is he going to get away just like that? Now, if you'll excuse me, my next investigation awaits! And with that... I'm off! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Hold it? Who said 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 it? The defense? No, wait. Not the defense. The defendant feels it's not time for a verdict yet and would like to see this trial continue into the night. What? But I was just about to declare you innocent of all charges! It just doesn't feel right to be standing here. Hey, Apollo, think you could scooch over? Athena, what are you doing? Hope we don't get held in contempt of court. I have some questions for you, Detective Fullbright. Are you relieved that you are no longer under suspicion of being the Phantom? Are you grateful to Prosecutor Blackwell for what he's done for you? Of course I am, and I'm truly grateful from the bottom of my heart. Athena, where are you going with these questions? I have yet to hear a single emotion behind any of Detective Fullbright's words, boss. The suspicion against him has been cleared up, but he's still not feeling happy at all. What does that mean? We may not have any evidence, but the heart doesn't lie. That's it! With your special ability, we just might be able to stop him! Your Honor, the detective has been deeply traumatized by our accusations.
Yes, well, even before all of this, I thought he was a rather odd fellow.
If he doesn't get counseling right away, who knows what might happen to him? Oh my god, he's gone crazy. He needs a psychology analysis stat! Prosecutor Blackwell, can you believe the nonsense the defense is spouting?
Fullbright, I think you'd better have that counseling.
Even Blackwell thinks Fullbright's gone crazy. Not you too!
You've been making batty remarks ever since you were accused of being the Phantom. Such as, you're an undercover investigator, and your family has been taken hostage. I fear you might have finally lost it.
But I thought you believed me!
Silence.
Oh, how you amuse me.
What's going on here? That was an excellent bit of psychological manipulation just now, Simon.
I knew you would catch on, Athena.
Huh? Mind filling me in here? Guess we left you out in the dust, huh, Mr. Wright? Simon was only pretending to believe Detective Fullbright because he knew I'd notice if there was a lack of emotions, like joy or relief, in his response. So he gave me the chance to take a listen. And listen I did to the voice of Detective Fullbright's heart.
What? You two are working together just now? Come on, come now, Athena. Show us what's inside Fullbright's heart.
You got it! Time to check the instant replay! Widget, mon ami, let's do this! Where's the phone? I don't have... I got my phone, but I don't have, yeah. Thank you for believing in me, Prosecutor Blackwell. I am an undercover investigator, but the Phantom was cornering me, coercing me. He stole the moon rock and killed Dr. Sykes 7 years ago. I'm a bad person for cooperating with such a man. Notice how there's no depression there? Yeah. But he took my family hostage. What else could I do? Man, talk about no emotion whatsoever. Even with all his over-the-top expressions and gestures, he's registering no emotion at all? It's just like I thought, and right in line with the Phantom's psych profile. Detective Fullbright, this lack of emotions proves you're the Phantom. Whoa. Hey! What's going on? Oh my god, he's got a freaking EMP disruptor. Wait, hold it! What do you think you're doing, detective? Me? I'm not doing anything. He's trying to hack into the Moon Matrix program. I can't do anything with it like this. Gah!
Fancy device you have there, but I'll tolerate no cheating, thank you.
Sorry about that. As an undercover agent, I tend to use my secret arsenal without even thinking. More like as a spy. Thanks, Prosecutor Blackwell. There, now that you can't hack me anymore, I dare you to try to hide your lack of emotions from us.